What is going on, everybody? It is that male CNA. Just completed an overnight shift here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about proper patient care. So I know I made a video about this on the past, or possibly, I'm not 100% sure yet, but not a big deal. Who cares? I do apologize about the background noise, but that is Ellie, our little shepherdor. So let's get into it. So today I wanted to touch base with you guys about proper patient care, like I said. So let me get off a little track here like I usually do in my videos. But today this is an important one, so I'm going to diverge it a little bit. So I've been agency now for the last year or so with previous employers and whatnot. And it always comes down to the house aides versus the agency aides. Most of the time, I always do 95% effort and get the job done almost all the time. But sometimes it just doesn't happen because we run out of time, or else there's just too many people to take care of. Listen, before I leave, everyone gets changed and gets a good round in. So today we're going to talk about how agencies, CNAs, and house CNAs take care of their people. To me, I always go above and beyond and at least get 3 or 4 people up and 2 or 3 more dressed. It depends on how much time I have and what time I start. When it comes to the overnights, I always start my rounds at about 3:45 in the morning. Sometimes 4 o'clock, depending on how many aides there are. But that 15 minutes really doesn't make a difference. And comes down to how you're going to do the process. So what I do is load up my linen cart with everything I need, empty whatever type of linen and garbage receptacles there are, and take care of things like that. So going on, I'll make sure everyone's living and breathing. And 2 very important words there, because you want to make sure no one's on the floor, especially on the units that I work on, such as the dementia and other ones. So going forth, let's talk about my process for taking care of somebody. So usually I like to load up the soap in whatever person's personal bucket there is. Load it up with some soap, whoever's got it on hand. Sometimes I use the residence, sometimes I use the house hospital, or whatever stuff they got on stock. Most of the time it's just a basic body wash that they also use for shampoos and good stuff like that, but that's besides the point. So going on, I always like to make sure that everyone's dry and clean before I leave. That's the basics of it. Get up whoever needs to be up, especially in the dementia unit. I always get up at least 3 or 4 people, get another 2 or 3 dressed, and when everyone else is changed and good before I leave, I always like to double check the heaviest sweaters. And everyone seems to be happy with my performances no matter where I am. They always say I'm a fantastic aide. So, like I was talking about before, proper care. In the last few days, I've been seeing some pretty terrible care being performed by people, either leaving residents wet. Now, you can't really speak about anyone to it because you just got to change them and get the job done. Last night I came in and there was a gentleman who had pretty much a complete bed wiped down and change of the linens on the said bed. That is improper. Proper care in that situation, before you left, you should have changed the bed, changed the gentleman's gown or jerry jacket, whatever you guys like to call it. Make sure that everyone's being properly cared for, because that's just negligence. Not making sure that you're spilling your duties onto someone else who's coming in. Now, a lot of people don't seem to get that proper care all comes down to the individual. If you don't care about your job as a CNA, then why do you have it? Proper care is making sure that everyone is changed, fed, and living and breathing, and making sure that they have some type of a thing to keep them busy. I like to turn on TVs while I'm changing them, make small conversation. Most of the time it's not awkward. Most of the time it's like a life story type of deal with these residents. But I like to listen and repeat what they're saying back to me, because at the end of the day, half the time the CNA is the one that has the most interaction with them. Some of these people haven't seen their family in a few years, and seeing all these rotating faces coming in can surely put a damper on someone's emotions and or getting to know or trust you. Now, when it comes down to my no-male females, I understand, because that can be an uncomfortable situation for certain ladies. And I have no issue with that whatsoever, to swap out that person for somebody else. Now, What a lot of people don't seem to understand is that care is all about how you are cleaning, and it's just, there's so many different things that go into it. Patient care to me, not in some literal definition, but I can definitely give you one. It's the care in which you're putting into an individual to make sure that their day is going a little bit better. Whether it's feeding, turning, changing position, taking vitals, just making sure that those people are okay before you leave. Now, when it comes down to the improper care, it's not changing or doing any other things that are previously listed. Now, what a lot of people don't seem to get is that it goes on a lot more than you think it would. Now, as someone as myself who has a little bit more experience under his belt, he's able to really adjust to any type of situation. Sometimes I find myself alone on the dementia unit, and then I swap on with the person who's on the other side of the unit. How it works for us is a north and south. South is a dementia unit, and north is a long-term care, and then we have a 1 south, which is all rehabilitation for people that are just going in there for short stints. Long-term care is obviously people who are in there for end-of-life care, or people who can't be cared for at a home setting or any other type of setting that they find themselves in. And dementia is obviously a long-term care and for people who cannot function most of the time normally outside in society. I'm sorry if my lateral definitions aren't approved by all of you, but that's just how it goes. So just properly take care of people. I see too many cases of skin breakdown for people who don't usually have it. I see too many people who are wet coming into the shift, but sometimes you can't help that because they're heavy wetters. But you always got to make sure that you're doing your best to make sure that everyone is living and breathing and being properly cared for. Because at the end of the day, let's say it one more time like I have in previous videos. It is their home, not ours. Leave your problems at the door and just make sure that everybody is A-okay. I know this is a hash of a repeat and it kind of was off on a tangent, but this is one of those random thought videos, pretty much. And I'll be definitely, oh yes, I wanted to inform you guys that I'll be telling CNAs or whoever decides that they're following my channel on how to do certain cares on people. No, I won't be demonstrating them. I will just be listing them out to you and how I do them myself. The first one would be the occupied bed change and or unoccupied bed change. And going on a list from there. So, is that male CNA? I appreciate you guys tuning in for this random thought video. And I last checked, I did have about 74 or 79 subscribers. I don't 100% know, but let's get my videos out there, guys. I feel like I offer you guys a pretty nice variety of videos. And yeah, closing on about 5,000 views total or something like that. But let's get there, guys. Let's get the channel moving. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you don't, dislike it. But random food for thought. All right, guys, that male CNA signing out.